Friends, we're talking about the 20th gift today, and our gift is aesthetics, beauty. And this week's portion, Tetzaveh, is talking about the garments of the high priest. This is our 20th gift. And in this week's portion, we're talking about the garments and their beauty, and how you're supposed to weave and sew these garments in a way that the high priest is presentable. Now, we have a lot of studies that are talking about beauty and aesthetics. One of the most radical studies that was done in the last few years, or tens of years ago, is talking about a professor by the name of Randy Thornhill. And Randy Thornhill is a very controversial professor and doctor, and what he found is that beauty and symmetry and aesthetics could lead us to think, and according to his study, of a better individual, more healthy, more intelligent, and that his genes are better. Again, a radical thought that a person is actually beautiful has better genes. A lot of people disputed this study. He's the most radical one, but others followed, not so radical, but in the same path. Many suggested, and that is very clear, that beauty and aesthetics affect people. When you go to a job interview and you have two people from the same sex that are trying to interview in front of a opposite sex, which is obviously attracted to them, and that individual has to hire, let's say a guy has to hire between two girls, he is going to choose most likely the more beautiful one if they have the same qualifications. It's major amount of studies that were done on this, and we won't go into all the proofs, but this is one of the aspects. Beauty affects decision. Beauty affects overrides certain qualifications, and this is quite understood, and also it's researched. Another individual by the name of Malcolm Gladwell, you all heard of him. He wrote a book called Blink, and he took the Fortune 500 and saw that the average height, physical height of CEOs is above 6 feet or close to 6 feet. And he says, all those giants are chosen because of their height? The answer is yes. A person that is higher physically, he represents more authority, more charisma, and therefore he's chosen to lead the company. Now, it's shocking. We want to say to ourselves, what are we, so superficial? How do we choose beauty over knowledge? But this is the situation. And studies prove that through and throughout. Question is, how does Judaism relate to this concept of aesthetics and beauty? And what we're about to say today is a very fundamental idea. What is the right attitude towards aesthetics and beauty? We have an example from the Bible. The approach of the Bible is very ambivalent. On one hand, as we see in the story of Saul and David, Samuel comes to appoint David as a king. And he's looking in the house of Yishai, someone to replace Saul. And he comes to a guy named Eliab, and God tells him, don't look at his looks, because God sees to his heart, he doesn't look at the looks, he looks into his heart. So we see that God does not take aesthetics and beauty into consideration. But a few verses later, it says that David was chosen, and David was, as I quote, red-headed, had beautiful eyes, and was good looking. So you got to decide, Bible, are you for beauty or against it? And here's the catch. Beauty, according to Judaism, is something that has to be filtered through the notion of God. And what do I mean by that? Beauty can be very destructive. It can lead to idol worshiping, the idolizing of beauty, aesthetics, and we say art, pictures, etc., etc. The outward appearance of an individual. But on the other hand, people look and they use their five senses. And when they use the five senses, the first thing they encounter is the outer self of an individual. Not his brain, not his internal being, but his outward appearance. And therefore, the Torah comes and says, I acknowledge that, I know that. But in order to refine that notion in the human being, I need to filter it, distill it, and write about it in the context of holiness. So where is aesthetics going to appear in the Bible? In the clothing of the high priest. When he has to serve God, he has to adhere to God, he has to elevate people towards God, that's where beauty is required. When a person is supposed to lead people, when a person is supposed to inspire us to do good and to do justice, just like the matriarchs, which were all beautiful, and that's what the Bible says about them. It's for a purpose. So the Bible, in essence, never heightens or emphasizes beauty and aesthetics on its own, because then you're going to come to idol worshiping and idolize beauty. It always has it through a filter or through a distillery of holiness. Yes, you are beautiful. You are symmetric. You are aesthetic for a purpose of serving God, of leading people, of etc., etc. So, are those authors right? Are those researchers right? Yes, it does have effect on us, and the Torah has a simple solution for it. Beauty, not on its own. So whatever you see out there in magazines and on TV and in movies, it's the wrong notion. Beauty is superficial. You only need to use beauty if you want to become a better person, make the world a better place, and use that beauty, just like the verse says in this week's portion, lechavod uletifale, for dignity and for honor, and to serve God and to serve humanity. Any other notion makes beauty and aesthetics superficial. So this is a great approach, our 20th gift, of how Judaism approaches aesthetics. So for all of you out there, 6-foot men or beautiful women, listen to this. Use your beauty, your aesthetics, your genes, your symmetry to do good for the people all around you. Because God gave you a gift, and that gift should be used to heighten the world, to make this world a better place. Don't be superficial. Be deep and serve God.